Some brands become so famous that they're remembered long after the company has gone. And I'm going to talk you through three of perhaps the best examples of this in this video. Now, the first one is probably a product that nobody watching this video has ever bought, and that is Okies Wellington knife polish. And Okies Wellington knife polish was very popular, 100 years ago, when most domestic knives were made out of carbon steel rather than stainless steel and needed to be polished. And Okies was one of the top selling brands. And the reason that it's still remembered is because Okies had quite an extensive advertising campaign. They would have their name and their logo, which is again a very simple handwritten logo, all over the place. You would see it on buses, you would see it on train stations, you would see it in newspapers, you would see it everywhere. And if you look at photographs, particularly old photographs of London, where you see a horse-drawn bus or an old bus or a tram, chances are that there's going to be an advertisement for Okies knife polish on it somewhere. So much so that if we look in this photograph here, you can see here's a restored horse-drawn bus. This photograph was taken at a rally in London in 2014. But to add authenticity to the bus, you can see that the current owners have painted an advertisement for Okies knife polish on the side. I'm sure this bus probably carried all sorts of different advertisements during its working life, but in order to make it authentic, in order to make it appear correct in people's minds, the current owners have painted an advertisement for Okies knife polish onto the side. And so it's remembered, even though probably nobody looking at that bus has ever even seen a tin of Okies knife polish. Another one is Compaq computers. Compaq was one of the first big computer companies who made PCs for both home and office use, and I'm sure many people watching this video will have had a Compaq computer as their first computer, or maybe have had a Compaq computer at their first job. And you can see an example of one of their later models here, and here's a very early laptop made by Compaq. The company was started in 1982, but they went out of business many years ago. They were taken over by another company that retired the brand. But there's still a lot of nostalgia for this particular brand of computer. And another brand that's gone but not forgotten is Studebaker. Studebaker was a manufacturer of motor vehicles based in South Bend, Indiana in the United States, but they also exported Studebaker cars all over the world. They had right-hand drive versions that were exported to countries like the UK and Australia, and there were all sorts of different Studebaker cars, Studebaker trucks, Studebaker buses, and so on. And you look here, there's a couple of examples from the 1940s and 1950s, and they were a worldwide brand. These photographs, this one and this one, were both taken at a car show in Sweden, and you'll still see them at car shows, and if you're very lucky on a nice summer's afternoon, you might perhaps see one being driven by its very proud owner. And of course, if you talk to people of a certain age, they will no doubt reflect fondly on having or driving or seeing a Studebaker car, even though the company actually went out of business in the 1960s. So there you go. Here are just three examples of brands that people continue to remember long after the company that made them has gone under. Okay, in the next video I'll talk you through how you can go about protecting your brand and to making sure that nobody else can use it.